everybody. It's not in the car this time. We're doing a Q&A from the house. Weather's been awful here, so we haven't been out and about. All right, but I've been in a while since I did any of these, so I know there's been some questions that are kind of piled up. So here we go. Guardian of the Hive, talking about a video that I did on inbreeding and line breeding. She said, great information. I'd like to make a point out that all purebred dogs have different amounts of inbreeding, or COI, coefficient of inbreeding. And that basically what she's saying is that even if you've got dogs that haven't been inbred or line bred, they can still have a low COI, coefficient of inbreeding, or high coefficient of inbreeding, and consequently they can have some problems that pop up. So absolutely right. Jammy Mammy, my Wiesler had silent heat since her first litter. She had 9 puppies, beautiful puppies, entirely unplanned. But now she's not, basically she's not come back into heat, or she hasn't seen it, maybe because she's very fastidious. And she feels like she doesn't want to have a litter because you're taking the pups away. I don't think that's the situation here. I don't think, I mean, look, here's the deal. Just about everybody who has a litter of puppies, the majority of those puppies leave the house and go somewhere else. And so we don't hear reports back of dogs not going back into heat because they're upset because their puppy's been taken away. Now, I don't want to act like mamas don't care about their puppies, because they do. And certainly, you know, if a puppy dies, mums can get very stressed, not realizing what's going on, where's their puppy. So, but I don't think that's a situation for not heats here. I think she's probably having silent heats. Do you use the same type? This is Runati. Do you use the same type of 5-in-1 shots during the 6, 9, 12 weeks? Yes, we do. Exactly the same. Dominic Celentano. I have a fawn female, so she doesn't carry brindle, that carries blue and cocoa and tan points and pied. I bred her to a male that's blue and tan that carries cocoa and no pied. Okay, so what's going to happen here? First off, no pied puppies, because both dogs don't carry pied, though half of the puppies you'd expect to carry a copy of pied. Neither dogs have got brindle, so we're not getting any brindle puppies. One dog is blue, and the other dog is a blue carrier, so half the puppies will be blue. Both dogs are cocoa carriers, so 1/4 of that you'd expect to have a copy of 2 copies of cocoa. So the answer is you'd expect to get 1/2 and 1/4 is 1/8. 1/8 lilacs, 1/2, actually 3/8 blues, which some of them will carry cocoa, and then the remainder, which is about 1/4, are going to be fawns. Frank Rizzo, Giardia treatment, safeguard, fendobendazole, 1 milligram per 5 pounds for 7 days in a row. Wait 10 days, do it again, safe for it. Yes, you can do that. So here's my comments on that. The normal treatment for Giardia is metronidazole, and it's an antibiotic. And it's definitely more effective against getting rid of Giardia than fendobendazole is. Fendobendazole is a general dewormer, and it can get rid of Giardia and coccidia, but it's not the normal treatment for that. That's why they're saying doing it for 10 days, not 3. Excuse me, for 7 days, not 3. So, you know, I prefer to treat. The problem with metronidazole is it's pretty rough on a dog. That's the reason for not using metronidazole and trying a Giardia. So you could try it. DZ Mac, my dog was at 22, but I didn't do a surgical. I did a regular AR, and it's been 16 days now. I'm hoping to get this litter. He wants to know if it's going to be effective. Yeah, probably. I mean, you're a bit late. You're about a day late, but the window of opportunity is plus minus a day. You'll probably get a litter out of it. It may impact on litter size a little bit, but you'll probably be successful. V-Dog, thinking about buying a Frenchie for breeding purposes. My options are a Moor Frenchie or Isabella Newshade. Which one would you prefer? Well, the Isabella Newshade is going to be a lot more expensive dog, should be, and so consequently it's got better DNA, and we're not talking anything about structure here, simply DNA. But if I had a choice between those 2 dogs and someone was going to give them to me, I would absolutely take the Isabella Newshade, no doubt about it. Hi, 5-month-old, this is Emily Brott. 5-month-old recently started limping and took her to the vet, learned she had a level 2 luxating patella. Is this something usually you need to see surgery? I would wait and see how this develops. See how she does. You know, see if she may. Lots of dogs have luxating patella. It's not that uncommon, and there's various degrees of it. Some of those dogs generally learn to walk a little bit differently and and it hurts them, so they move a little bit differently, and then the whole thing maybe resolves itself. So I would just take your time and see what happens on this. Jedi Rickett got my first platinum girl last week. She has blue eyes. Can I assume that she is a merle? She's 12 years old. No, you cannot. So the problem with platinums is, not the problem, but the story behind platinum is it's cream, little e, covers everything up, so you know nothing about what's underneath it. Unless you know the DNA of the parents and you know it exactly, you don't know what you've got. And the answer is do DNA testing. And if the dog was a merle or a platinum, I'd expect it to have a red eye glow, and he didn't report that. So something's not up right here anyway. I think you need to do a DNA test. From death to life, you prepared me so well for the birth of my American Bully puppies, pocket size. Even though they came a day before the C-section, I knew what to do. A tub of Vaseline, and just like you said, she passed all 11 puppies. So what was going on here is that this person, I think, had some problems where they couldn't get a C-section done. And so I said, look, what I would do in a situation like this, I'm not advocating this is what you should do, by the way. I'm just saying that this is what you do in this situation. You're caught basically with your pants down. You can't get a C-section done for various reasons. It may be because of where you live, because it's the holidays, whatever. You can't get a C-section done. So what do? You do an X-ray a few days before birth to see how many puppies there are, because if you're going to have a natural C-section, you want to count those puppies as they come out so you know the last one's out, right? And then you want to see on the X-ray whether or not you have a puppy in there that has an abnormally larger head than the rest of them. If you've got a puppy that has a bigger head, that one's going to get stuck, and that's going to muck the whole thing up, and then it's just not an option for you. So do preparation, do an X-ray, not an ultrasound, but do an X-ray so you can measure the skulls, find out how many puppies there are, and then have on board a crap load of Vaseline. And the moment she shows any signs of labor, just pack her up with Vaseline. Get her greased up, because it makes a huge difference. And it worked for that person. And then the other thing is, if you possibly can, have a plan B in place. You know, I don't like emergency clinics particularly, but they're better than nothing. So if you've got a plan B that's an emergency clinic within an hour away, you can at least get yourself extricated from a bad situation. Green Streets of Pakistan, can you please guide me about getting rid of toxic milk syndrome? I have never seen toxic milk syndrome. So I don't know what causes it. I'm guessing what you're saying here is you've got a dog that's producing milk that's kind of stinky and nasty. I think all you can do in those situations is express it out by hand and see if you can get back to the point where you've got decent milk. And if she's maybe got some kind of bacterial infection going on, then maybe antibiotics would be in order. But I think that's a question for a vet, not me. Julio Martinez. Here's a good one. After inseminating the female, how long does the sperm live for? That's a debate that goes on and on and on. So, look, I hear people say, oh, it lives for 72 hours. If that was a true statement, then I feel like we'd breed all of our dogs early and let the sperm stay inside the girl, and we'd be in good shape. And we don't do that, or at least it's not working. So I suspect that 72 hours is very optimistic. So I suspect it's more like 24 hours. That's my guess, but it's just a guess. You know, there's ways that a person could test this. You know, for instance, I have done swabs on dogs that have been an unwanted pregnancy. They got hooked up. Somebody's come to me and said, hey, is my dog pregnant? And you can't tell, of course, 24 hours later. But what you can do is you can do a swab and see whether you see any live semen on the swab. And I haven't seen it. So I suspect that the lifetime for sperm, you know, is something in the order of 24 to 36 hours. That's my guess. Might be wrong. That's, by the way, why I recommend that you breed 2 times, 2 days apart. Nick, no, Luco, I have a large incubator, but I need the electrical power supply. If you've lost it, go to mybreedersupply.com. You can order parts for that. You can order the power supplies, you can order the car adapters, all there on My Breeder Supply. Can you do an install from an Easy Workbox? I think I've done one. If you go look, you'll see me doing one from an Easy Workbox. But there's no different doing it on an Easy Workbox than any other box. Basically, you're just going to stick the heat tape to the underneath of the floor. And if you don't have a floor, you make one using Coroplastic. A sheet of Coroplastic at Home Depot, 20 bucks for a 4x8 sheet. Cut it up with a box knife, make yourself a fake floor. stick it to the bottom of that floor, put the floor down on the bottom if you don't have a floor in your crate. And that's it for this round. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.